Oh, there we go. Let's see how this is doing. See how this is working here today. Click the button, do the thing, and there we are, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It is so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is September 23rd, 2025. We're going to write a little bit of code today. How you doing there, chat room? It's so good to see you. We're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube. You can see some folks that showed up early right here. I was a little late sending out the announcement post on social media. I was a little late on that, but we got it out there. Folks should be able to chime in, find us now out there on the big YouTube and Twitch. Let me just double check one or two more things. Yeah, there we go. All right. Let me say hello. CTI Geek, good morning to you in Virginia. 222-222, hello to you. Weird Beard Dev, happy Tuesday to you. Reg is here, good morning, hello. Heck Radar says, hope I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Had a quiet weekend. Got a number of things done on a couple of side projects, things around the house. I had been traveling the previous 3 weekends. So to be home and get stuff done around the house and not have the pressure of running here, there, and everywhere felt so much better. So very happy with how that shook out. Hey there, Roger. Hello. I've got a cup of Good Morning America here with me. A little Starbucks I brewed in the Keurig downstairs, and I'm going to put on my Gunner glasses here. These are the Marin glasses. These are... There we go. It looks like I dropped for a second there. These are glasses that they're rimless. They're nice and small, right around my eyes, so it doesn't look like I'm wearing really big glasses. Really enjoy the amber glasses that the folks at Gunner have. Of course, they help protect your eyes when you're staring at a computer for hours on end. So big thanks to them for their support of the channel. I am a Gunner ambassador and happy to support their efforts that they're working on. Yeah. And I will be over on their channel broadcasting Thursday afternoon. I'll be over there on... they've got an Instagram and a Twitter feed and a whole bunch of stuff. I'll be broadcasting on their channels Thursday this week. Last week I couldn't do it because I had to get ready. I had a colonoscopy on Friday. So the time that Gunner wanted me to broadcast, I was literally mid-prep. And if you've ever had to prep for a colonoscopy, that's not a time that you want to be sitting in front of a camera. Just saying. So got that all done. Everything's good. A good report come in from the doctor. We're moving on. The prep is the worst part. And there was a point, I'm not the greatest with needles, but there was a point where after going through all that prep and how dehydrated you are, and you're not allowed to drink anything for 2-3 hours before the procedure. I'm there on the gurney, and they're going to put in the IV, and they couldn't find a vein. Well, no duh, you couldn't find a vein because I'm all dehydrated. And she's needling around there on my wrist, and I'm like, oh, this isn't working out. I literally started to pass out right there. Oh, we're gonna have a problem. They brought over another doctor. I got it all set up. Got it in. And literally you're laying there in the bed and they're talking to you about this, that, and the other thing. And I start to see the white medicine come down the IV. And I forget what we were talking about, and gone. Like, okay, that's it. I woke up an hour later and, hey, we're off and running. Time to go. So, it's a thing you got to get done. You got to get checked out. The polyps, the things that could be happening there down in your colon, you don't want to mess with that. So as you get into your 40s, you got to get colonoscopy, get it all checked out, and make sure things are all right. The worst is when they show you the PlayStation controller they use to control the camera, No. No. Didn't show me any of that stuff. We're just in there talking, and as they're getting things put together and all set up and doing the things, and all of a sudden, lights went out and woke up an hour later and in a different part of the hospital. Oh, okay. So not a problem there. Hey, is it Thuring Weathil? Did you know C# is D flat? Yes. C# also an amazing, versatile programming language that you can use to build and do anything. So, I'm going to run the hat command myself here because this is a new hat that I am so excited I got my hands on. There it goes. AI is taking a picture, going to analyze that hat, and I want to see what it reports for this because I just got this yesterday. I love the Alien movies. Love them.
The analysis is complete. Weyland Yutun E-Corp hat has been identified with high confidence.
That's right. Building better worlds. Yeah. The stylized W. It's not just a W, it's a W and a Y. But logo references the fictional corporation from the Alien franchise. Yeah, the evil hostile corporation, right? From the Alien franchise that's always trying to capture the alien, the xenomorph, so that they can study it because it's a perfect creature, it's a perfect being. And what can we learn from it? Yeah, well, I'll tell you what you can learn from it: how it kills everybody on a space station, how it kills everybody on a ship, how it kills everybody that lands on a planet to go and examine it. You're toast. Like, didn't you learn about this in the last movie? Nope, we're going to send more people. This time we're sending Marines. Guess what? They're all dead too. Idiots. You can see why I liked it. How did I lose connection? I just completely lost connection there. To restream. We back? Yeah, there it is, disconnected. Come on, get back. There we go. I saw the disconnect happen and I'm like, what the heck is going on? I don't know what's happening there. I go through restream and looks like
Look,
we're still
Fritz,
okay.
I can see you're really upset about this.
No, I'm not that upset.
I honestly think you ought to sit down calmly, take a stress pill, and think things over.
I'm fine, thank you so much. So the episode 5 of Alien Earth was such an homage to the Nostromo and the name of the ship in the first Alien movie. I need to dig up my Nostromo hat. Anyways, it looked picture perfect. So many of the sets from that first episode. Like, I would love if they kept those sets and went and did a remake of the first movie with 2025 technology. What, 44 years later? Release it 45 years after the first movie as a remake? Oh, that would be amazing. High def quality and really returning and revisiting what made that first movie so magical. Because here's the thing about the Alien movies. Through the first 2 movies that were made by Ridley Scott and James Cameron, and the second Alien movie was like it was nominated for Oscars. It is that good a movie, right? I still like the first one better. But of the first 2 movies, you don't see the alien actually kill anyone. You don't see any body parts pierced or anything. Of course, you see the chest burst when the alien is born and comes out of people's body, but you don't actually see the xenomorph do anything to anybody. Yeah. We get into Alien 3 and you start to see some of that stuff. Alien 4 gets even more squinchy. Gets a little bit more bloody. You get into the prequels and oh dear lord, it might as well be a slasher movie with the amount of blood and just it gets a little rough at that point. Like, really? Really? So there's something to be said about the horror that can be caused just by having the quiet, having those eerie sounds in space in the spaceship. Such a fantastic series of movies. I'm gonna get some music playing here in the background, and I'll answer more of your comments there in chat. Let me go to the Stream Beats Synthwave playlist. Just some groovy music to have in the background here. I'm going to start down here at 5th Street. This is music that's DMCA free, royalty free. Listen to it wherever you'd like. Check it out at streambeats.com. There's all kinds of genres of music available. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for the music we're listening to today. Just giving it a little bit more there. There we go. Hey, DevLead should send them some Tylenol. I really think that the folks in the American administration were telling you that every scientist, every doctor, every nurse, every medical professional that you've been dealing with, that have been alive, that have been practicing for the last 60 years is wrong. That's a lot of hubris. You want to tell people they're wrong? Show them the data. Show us the data. Until then, shut your yap. Show us the data. Everybody talks about how, well, I don't know if I can trust this, that, or the other because I did research on the internet. Show us the data. You're gonna blindly trust these idiots that are getting up in front of a microphone and saying, well, doctors are wrong. This causes autism. Bull. You just destroyed a company by throwing their medication under the bus without any proof. When all the studies say otherwise, I hope you're ready for a lawsuit. Because I can tell you what. Who makes Tylenol? Johnson & Johnson? McNeil. It was the original manufacturer, but who owns McNeil now? I'm sure they've been acquired several times. Yeah. Who's the current? Johnson & Johnson. I was right. You better believe there's a lawsuit coming. Johnson & Johnson has some very high-priced attorneys. Get ready. And they're going to sue you personally. Oh, yeah. This is going to be some fun to watch what happens. Let me see here. How you doing, Patty boy? Good to see you in Glasgow. It was lagging a little. Yeah, there's something. And here it goes again. Here goes my connection again. Are you serious? Like, Restream taking a powder here. Not cool. Yes, that's right, Dinky Dolphin. I'm going to let that through. The party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. It was their final, most essential command. Yeah. So, this, I'm willing to bet this is Restream having a real hard time here, because it doesn't look like stuff's flowing through properly here from Twitch, and all my connections out to the internet look okay. So, did I pay my internet bills? Hey, McNets, good to see you. Eric, how's it going over there on YouTube? All right. So I see a couple entries on the map. That's okay. We'll be playing more with the map a little bit later today. Yeah, there you go. There's the analysis of today's hat, the Weyland-Yutani hat. Love it. Love it. Maybe my connection needs a Tylenol. I was looking at, and I saw this message from Aaron Stannard. I didn't have a chance to open this up and look at this, and I wanted to talk about this. Much respect for Aaron and the work he does on Akka. But there's a question on Reddit. Why aren't there as many .NET open source projects as other frameworks? And this person says, maybe I'm biased, but I've been building... let me see if I can get that on Reddit, and we'll dive into this a little bit, because I want to talk about this. Reddit, it's somewhere on .NET. Let me see. Who's this, Bill? Yeah. Has any of the Microsoft stuff been affected by the NPM supply chain worm? No. There is, there are many stopgaps in the Microsoft supply chain, how we acquire and package software, that stuff like that doesn't directly impact. Yeah. So I can we close that over there? Thank you. Yeah, let me go to this question. Let's talk about this over on Reddit. Why aren't there as many .NET open source projects as other frameworks? I've been building software .NET with .NET since .NET Framework 1.1. I've been writing applications with Java, Kotlin, Rust, and Python professionally for work or a hobby, but I generally wonder why there aren't as many decent open source projects as other languages. What's the barrier, and what do you think should change? Now, Aaron has some pretty good comments here. There are successful third-party alternatives. Dapper is compared to Entity Framework, not in Hibernate. That's right. .NET standard library is excellent compared to other languages. Yep. But that's not what the author's talking about. So when we look at and think about some of these languages, Java, Kotlin, Rust, and Python, they don't have a standard library, right? The base class library, the BCL that comes with .NET, has a lot of stuff that's really, really good. Like, yeah, and what do they mean by decent? That's opinionated. No one is asking, why don't we have more left pads in .NET? Micro packages used to stop gap missing standard library functionality. That's right. Who cares about things like left pad? But when you look at the packages that we do need in the .NET space, they are a lot more sophisticated. UI, web, machine language, audio processing, image processing, security capabilities, distribution systems, and more in .NET. Yeah. They do exist, but they don't get shared by the folks who are end users of .NET. It's mainly a lot of the users of .NET, and you out there know this, enterprise users, government users, who have limitations on what exactly they can consider for open source packages to use, so they don't get promoted as much. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Open source projects also include self-hostable web applications that are actually useful. That's what we're doing with TagsApp. This has zip to do with whatever is in the standard library, and there are very, very few of these in .NET. That's right. Yeah. We're going to try and make TagsApp in that space. We're pushing in that space, but we'll see. I'm running Commentario, Tandor, Image, Pi-hole, Portainer, and Keycloak in my home lab. Nothing wrong with that at all. So where's the .NET representation here? .NET's not a small platform, so this isn't a population issue. It's a cultural issue. Like, Keycloak with Java is, like, these other ones are not enterprise. And even then, Keycloak is a little bit more on the outside of that enterprise space from folks who work on Java. I think you're going to see Aspire and you're going to see YARP get into this mix. It's going to take a little bit, but it's coming. Not to mention we have the inherent bias against Microsoft. That's just a thing. We deal with that, right? So that's something that I think is interesting, and I want to make sure that we talk about, we recognize, and I want to make sure that I make clear the tent is wide open here for lots of folks to participate. There's nothing saying that people can't build and do those things with .NET. Go for it. There is lots that can be done. So, yeah. Hang on. There we go. Folks on LinkedIn needing my attention. Fine, I'll go respond to you. The other thing that I saw that popped up here that I want to make sure we talk about. Microsoft needs to revive WinForms. In this era of full stack web app everything, the desktop space is sorely neglected. While some say WinForms was never a complete desktop app solution, it was by far the easiest, most streamlined way to spin up any kind of app you wanted to that you could run locally. Here's the thing. Windows Forms is the most used set of templates in .NET. That's a fact. So, it was the framework that got this person into C# and .NET in the first place, since Java had nothing of the sort, and I found the experience delightful back then. The designer and interactions to build WinForms, second to none. Really great, easy way to do rapid application development. I'll continue. Anytime I show even seasoned developers from other stacks how quickly I can build a basic tool, they're mesmerized. Yeah. Today I still hear people trying to use it, particularly newbies in this space who could really use the help when starting from scratch. What better way to get new people interested in .NET than by offering the far and away simplest app dev framework out there? You're not wrong. It just works and does what you want, no fluff or nonsense. Other than that, if it could be made more robust and up to date, some might find it acceptable as production software too. The amount of times I hear about some new internal tool being developed as a full stack app when a simple WinForms app would do and cut time by 80%. It's incredible. WinForms never went away. WinForms runs much faster and has a better packaging story with .NET 8, 9, and 10. Like, there's a story here that, yeah, it's very much supported, and it's really, really good. It was improved massively for .NET 9. It was slower in earlier versions of .NET and .NET Core. It's much, much faster, but it runs on Windows only. It's not that cross-platform framework that MAUI tries to be. So, but you're going to hear more about WinForms. Display scaling was added a while ago. You're going to hear more about it at .NET Conf. At the end of the day, WinForms is the best tool for line of business apps. Totally agree. it is. If you have Windows machines that you're deploying to, Windows Forms is fantastic to use. Yes. DevLead says, it's a matter of perception. It's the same when people say no startups are running .NET, which is entirely untrue. Completely agree. Startups that run .NET can accelerate and move faster on things because there's so much that's already built. And you can customize stuff to the nines. So, you've been part of a couple dozen startups over the years. They've not been vocal about their tech stack, but the problem they're solving. Totally agree, DevLead. Folks that use .NET aren't like the folks down the way that are on CrossFit. They're not going to come out and brag to you and tell you every 5 minutes about how they're using .NET. They're going to tell you about how they're solving a problem. That's not an issue. We don't need to get in and get upset about that. Reading and commenting on Reddit posts about .NET might be good YouTube content. Not sure if it's a style I want there. So you better believe I'm going to cut some of that a little bit. If only WinForms could be morphed into Maui in an easy way. So I think you're onto something. Not WinForms morphed into Maui, but WinForms content shipping and running on other platforms. But there's a lot more underneath the covers to WinForms. And even then, once you get it onto those other platforms, you're going to have folks wanting the designer. And the designer right now only runs in Visual Studio. Doesn't run in Visual Studio Code. I think that's a fantastic topic there, Billy, that we should touch on as well. Billy pointing out extended STS support. Yes, we should talk about that. Let me grab that. There we go. From my colleague Jamshed. This announcement went out. .NET STS releases are now supported for 24 months. So, odd-numbered releases of .NET are what are called STS, or Standard Term Support. They were on 18-month support cycles. It's now been extended to 24-month. So what that means is .NET 8 had a patch release on September 9th, and it's a long-term support. It's going to be supported through November of 2026. .NET 9, so an odd-numbered version that has an STS support cycle, is going to be supported now through May 2026. Well, that's when it was scheduled to expire. It's now going to go through November 2026. So we want to make sure that folks can use and have the confidence in the standard term support versions and be able to have that faith that it's going to be supported for a long time. So in our current, right, we're out around here, right? Actually closer to here. So .NET 8 is still supported. It's going to be supported until .NET 11 comes out. .NET 9 is going to be supported until .NET 11 comes out. And .NET 10 comes out in 7 weeks. Not that I'm counting. I am counting. When .NET 10 comes out, you will have 3 versions of .NET that you can use and that will be supported. So you want to continue using .NET 8? That's great. You have another year to migrate, and you can migrate onto .NET 10 that will be supported out to 2028. Because you get a 3-year support cycle, right? .NET 8 came out in 2023, goes to 2026. The long-term support is going to go out to at least 2028. That's pretty good. So you have options. And as Billy points out, you have no reason not to upgrade now. When a new version comes out, do the upgrade, get the performance updates, particularly if you've got a good CI/CD pipeline. You're doing continuous integration, you're doing continuous deployment, and you can tell GitHub Copilot, just go update my application. It'll do all the updates, run the continuous integration, make sure everything still works, and now you're off and running. Everything works. You're on a newer, more secure, faster version because there's lots of performance updates in every release. And you're going to be so much happier about it. I've been talking to a customer over the past few weeks that's still running a large production system in .NET Framework 4.8. I said to them, you don't know just how much of a performance bump you're going to get just by upgrading from .NET 4.8 to .NET 10. You're literally, your mind's going to be blown by just how much faster it is on the same hardware. I don't have to write a line of code. Just do the migration, and it's going to be flipping amazing for you. Yeah, that's a thing. So, and of course, we need to make sure we touch on our friend Stephen Tobe had his performance improvements blog post. Massive, massive blog post, as always. 230 some pages. Updates, performance updates about every part of the .NET framework that Microsoft ships. Like, this is all the subtopics. And you're welcome to scroll through this and learn more. Just upgrading to .NET 10, when that ships, is going to get you such a performance benefit. Hey! Dog's in there scratching on the floor. It is a massive blog post, but it's always a good read. Go search for whatever it is that you work with. You work with regex? Fantastic. There's a couple paragraphs here about how they've improved it. References to various pull requests. And you could see some of these updates, 62% performance improvement. Checking on boundary conditions. Expressions like find alpha characters that have a boundary, 81% performance improvement. Like little things like that that you might be using, and you're going to see a huge bump in performance. It's really, really good. So, the scroll bar is always funny on those. Yes, that's the scroll bar for the table of contents. Right? You can't see it, but the scroll bar here is tiny. Look at how tiny that is. Yeah. Yeah. It's great stuff. In your opinion, Uno beats Maui, and Juan Van says they think Avalonia beats both. You know what? It's great to see that competition in the mobile framework space. Push each other. Let's get somewhere and make it better. Totally agree. That there's competition there, and it's a tug of war. We're going to see who gets better and improves things. Eldorian always uses the LTS upgrades at work. That's fine. One second here. Excuse me for a minute. The puppy got some things he wasn't supposed to and was chewing on some plastic. Hey! Being a puppy dog dad is frustrating. Avalonia relies on WPF, and I think that's not a terrible thing because it is a good on-ramp then for folks to start using their framework. Fantastic. Let me see here. How you doing there? The way the migration from Framework 4.8 to .NET 10 is not a walk in the park. It is not. Particularly if folks are using web forms. It is not. There are consulting firms that specialize in this and are really good at doing those migrations. Has the migration from Framework to .NET improved? You're going to see it get a lot better with the GitHub Upgrade Assistant. The GitHub Copilot Upgrade Assistant. It's getting much, much better. Some of the link improvements were crazy. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Pull request. No, pull request. You hope Microsoft rewrites Visual Studio as well. I think the performance could be so much better. Have you tried Visual Studio 2026? It is better. And hey, there we go, Chuck Beasley.
Chuck Beasley just resubscribed for 37 months. Hello from the Mariana Trench.
Oh, there we go. How you doing there, Chuck? Yes, let's see. Where did that pop up? Did it put one? Nope, didn't put one out there for you. Sorry. So Visual Studio 2026 is an improvement. Trust me, the team, the Visual Studio team looks at rewriting and improving segments of that application all the time. And when they do find things that are considerable performance improvements, they roll them out. They didn't just decide to upgrade Visual Studio 2022 to 64-bit on a whim. They'd been testing that for years. And they finally pulled the trigger and did it. Trust me when I tell you, they are always tinkering and looking at improving the performance of Visual Studio. They don't do that kind of migration lightly. Hey, Ravnos, is this the standard coding good? Yes, this is just talking good right now. We're going to code good in a little bit. Visual Studio 2026 Insiders Edition is out. It's a early release. There's going to be an RTM coming soon, but it is what we're calling an Insiders Edition. You're working with Visual Studio 2026 right now, McNats? Fantastic. Thank you for the link, UNESCO. Yeah. What? He's whimpering at me. You still have VB6 in Visual Studio 2010? Oh, man. It's not only .NET improvements, it's tooling too. What about the Visual Studio Profiler? Yes. There are some demos with the Visual Studio Profiler in Visual Studio 2026 that are really cool to see. I don't know if we've shown all of them yet or if I'm allowed to talk about them yet. So I'm going to pump the brakes on talking too much about them. Analyzers? No. Analyzers are a .NET tool. They ship with the product. Yeah, there we go. Just prove you can use the stock controls you already know. Yes. Yep. You haven't been following Tags app from the very beginning. You recently forked, and when I run locally, you get errors about Twitch relay process failing to start. Yes. Yes. Is that? No. It is not something you should get from Twitch. There, it mapped the Marianas Trench. Yes. Wait until the puppy meets Christmas tree. Shut up, Eric. You've been updating a WinForms app for 5 years, and it's a slog. Oh, no. Yes, WebForms is still around. Yeah. The stream on Twitch isn't stable for DevLead on, but they went to YouTube and it looks better. Hey, that's fine. There we go. I need to get this screen to put that full size. Webforms is still used where Motown Indie works. Still have a few apps floating around. Turns out we just need this table plugin. It's a pain in the neck to make a .NET version. Nalian's here in Austin, Texas. There's that one for Nalian. Hello. In Portugal is Yoni Torrado. I'm going to be there in about a month. Hello, hello. Thank you for the follow. Is Visual Studio 2026 still using the traditional .NET framework? Yes, it is.
I'm going to have to science the heck out of this problem, Fritz.
Okay, good.
Unlike you, I actually understand what science means.
Hey!
Cake will follow.
Okay, well, there's that. Good. Yeah, Patty Boy, we'll talk about... Remind me when we get into the app, and I'll show you Twitch Relay. You're going to be just fine kind of skipping it for now. Heck Radar, though, asking, is Visual Studio 2026 still using .NET framework, .NET 4.8? Yes. Yes, it is. I will reiterate what I said earlier. They are constantly testing and looking at improvements to make to Visual Studio, and they only make those improvements where they see a marked improvement. Visual Studio, being built with .NET Framework, has all kinds of optimizations in it already. So it is a high bar to improve the performance of that. So, thank you so much for the question. Badger with a question here. Is Visual Studio ever going to be cross-platform? No. Not in its current state, in its current state of evolution, because it is .NET Framework. It's going to take a little bit to get there. So, I don't know why the avatar didn't quite come through there. It's fine on my dashboard here, but not ready for that yet. Same question from Todd. Will Visual Studio 2026 eventually come to Mac OS? So the feedback that the team had received in surveys several times is that folks would rather use just a code editor on Mac, and that they weren't interested in a full IDE in the surveys that our team ran. Will that change in the future? Not with Visual Studio 2026. So, is Visual Studio 2026 still using MS Build? Yep, it sure is. And it does a good job. Oh, when you build with .NET, it's using MS Build. So, it's kind of bundled in there and works well. Your body is ready, Ravnos? Fantastic. Unescu watching from Finland. We got the Finland pin up there. There we go. And Aurora, Colorado, Urban Blaster. Yeah, we got that. Another Marianas Trench? Really? It's over on this side. Only one mapped out there. Sorry. And I think it's Mariana's Trench. Now, actually, Chuck, I think I already got you on that. Hey, Justin, Interlochen, Michigan. Really? Is that what we got right there? There you go. Let me see here. Hey, M Rocks Forever in Belgium. I think we got. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it only works on my machine. Yeah. We've seen a little bit of an issue with Restream here. A little bit of an issue. Will Visual Studio 2026 work on your fridge? No. But is Visual Studio coming to Android No. No. Not currently in the plan. Sorry about that. So. Juan Van with a question here. Hey, are you going to Tech Bash in the Poconos? I'm planning to. I still have to get them a session because they have some space they're leaving for me on the first day. I'm going to be part of the keynote discussion on the first day. Yeah. I'm going to put that on my list to do today. In fact, heck, tell you what, I'm going to do that right now. Where'd it go? Yeah. I'm going to do that submission right now while I have you on. Because yes, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to log in with that. And get them session from my profile because I've got other stuff. I've got too many sessions listed here on Sessionize now. You know what? No. Let me copy in. I did a great session at VS Live. I'm also delivering it in VS Live Orlando. Let me bring that session to Tech Bash. I'll bring up that description here for you. Where is it? Yeah, VS Live. Right? And I think I'm on like Thursday. And I'm like Thursday afternoon at like 4 or something. Where'd it go? Was it Thursday or was it Wednesday? Yeah, there I am. Yeah, Wednesday. Oh, come on, open it up. Hey, there we go. Building confident application systems with .NET Aspire from dev to deployment. This is literally my high-speed run-through of all the content from the .NET Aspire workshop that I delivered here live on stream that you've seen. Yeah. Come on now. Yeah. And, yeah, do one of these. Sure. I get to mark this with some... Here, I can show you what this looks like. That's not too much of an issue. Right? How you doing there, Steve-O in Germany? And, Todd trying to mark Antarctica. Let me see, what other ones do I have here? It's not... sure, we'll put C# on that also. Cloud native, that's a thing. Let's see, what else? Is it orchestration for an Aspire talk? Sure. Yeah, productivity. Telemetry, sure. I'll put that in there, right? A little bit of everything. Web, why not? Track, I don't know, you could pretty much put that anywhere. There's my stuff. Yep, Facebook, Instagram, sure. No co-speaker, yep, you can do that thing. Go. All right. Yay. So, all right. So I will be there. I'll probably be there only for the one day. Oman. Really? Look at that. Thank you. Appreciate you tuning in there, Albara. Let me see here. M Rocks Forever with a question here. Have I ever worked with Azure Cosmos DB? Yes. You're looking to switch some flat tables to it? We're kind of misusing SQL as an index table. Okay. So, right, there's several different models of Cosmos DB that you can use. So, if you want to use it more like a NoSQL database and use the Mongo APIs that are in there, that'll probably work really well for you. So, good luck. Happy to discuss a little bit further. Yeah, dev lead from Gothenburg, Sweden. Yeah, there we go. No, why is it over in Norway? Didn't place anything. It should have. We should have gotten right in there. .NET RC1 comes with a Go Live license. That's right. .NET 10 RC1 has a Go Live. You've already migrated a couple workloads, and they're running in production. Smooth sailing so far. I will be getting TagsApp into .NET 10. Dr. Talk 2025.
For 6 months.
Thank you so much. 6 months with us. Really appreciate it. That's why yeah. Try typing that one more time, but to the Titanic wreckage. Have a good one, Todd. Looks like you're going. Hey, that's great, Juan Van. Video's lagging like crazy. It's gotta be restream. Yeah, a little bit, little something, something. What can I tell you? I am. So, yeah, Dr. Talk in Adelaide. Really? There we go. Fantastic. So, let that run and do the tour. I get around a little bit there, Ravnos. I keynote an event or two in my time. Flew me into Germany for Developer Days Germany, and I keynoted over there. I've keynoted at VS Live in Orlando. But I've got 4 events in 2 months, week-long events that I'm going to be teaching at. Dev Intersection in Orlando in October. The week after, Azure Dev Summit in Portugal, Lisbon, Portugal. We've got .NET Conf in November, and the week after, I'll be back in Orlando for VS Live. So, whole lot of travel and speaking coming up, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll try and do some streaming on the road. Hype train incoming. Uh-oh. Here it comes. Are we going to get a hype train? Limited time to earn exclusive emotes. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. And we're on an ad break for the next 15 seconds, and nobody knows it. So, moving on. I will let the hype train run here. Hey Charlie, I think the listeners are getting a little antsy.
Yes, Fritz. I am always listening. Always watching. What do you require?
I'm getting frustrated with you, Charlie, that you're not putting a pin for dev lead on the map. Ah, it stopped. Oh my goodness, Patty Boy with the gifted subs.
Just gifted 5 subs.
Oh baby, look at that. We're going to get through level 1 of the hype train. Thank you so much for those 5 gifted subs into the channel. Much appreciate. Congratulations to Plastic Citizen, Ravnos Archon, Shorsh, MTG, Mountain Coder, and The Way. You got gift subscriptions from our friend Patty Boy. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm going to force that in there for Dev Lead. There we go. So, it's, why is no lag showing up out here? I need a better way to be able to delete some of these from the map. We're on to level 2 hype train. 4 minutes to go on Twitch. Thank you so much for that support. All right, let's go back over to Tags app. There you are, right there with a little C# logo, because I'm the one that said it, and that's another issue that I have out there on my list to address. Let's head back over to Tags app and talk about some of where we left off and getting I was working on in unified error page, and we're going to get the map running in Tags app today. So, and we're going to do some tuning, because messages like what DevLead wrote there, hi from Gothenburg, Sweden, pin that hat, it should have isolated and handled that. We're going to take care of that today as well. All right. So let's head back over to, I was in here, and we're going to get into Tags app right there. Close some of those, and let's write some code good and stuff. Yeah. Right? I really like that logo. And that's not the right logo. Like, I didn't merge in the update yet. And we've only got about a week left on this sprint. Yeah, that's the right one. So we got a little bit of work to do to get this through.
Test chamber complete.
Oh?
Results.
Yeah?
Your code quality declined by 47%. Please proceed to the cake acquisition disappointment room.
Wait, disappointment room? Thanks! Jeez. All right, I had started work on doing an improved error handler for Tags app, so that it becomes a little bit, overdue by 5 days. I know. I thought we were going to be done by now. We're not. We're almost. There's only a few items left to really do in here. There's size of some of the windows, the map. I think we're done the installation experience as far as we need for this. So it does run in a Docker container, and I have improved keying in the connection stuff. It's not great, but it's improved. But this one right here is where I'm working right now. What else do we need? Allow moderators to load older messages. That's easy to do. And message size issues, which shouldn't be too hard to do. Auto ignore phrases and links. Yeah, we can do that one too. How you doing there, Bonaventuro? Hello. 1 minute left in the hype train to get to level 2. Thank you so much, everybody out there, for the support. Really appreciate chiming in, gifting subs. I don't think we had any cheers, but all right. So I started working on a custom Blazor error interface for this. You can see here the blog post I was writing for What's New in Aspire. That's coming this week. Tags app. Here we go. I was working on improving the error page, getting a custom error boundary error page handler here for Blazor, and it doesn't work. Using a custom error boundary is just like it's trying to set up a custom error boundary component that has a fixed look and feel. It isn't working quite right. Hype chests being delivered to folks on Twitch with some emotes. I got the frog wow emote. Wow. There we go. I got one of those. What did you get if you participated in the hype train? Thank you so much for that support again. Setting up, so we have this concept in Blazor of error boundaries that you can set up so that if there's an error that occurs in this space, handle it, format it. And it's not working too good. Why do I have an env local file? Where the heck did you come from? Go away. So close that. This idea of putting an error boundary on the layout page, it doesn't work very well because it needs to have this interactive content with the error information that it shows. So it's kind of lame. It's more than kind of lame. It stinks. I need to improve it. So the idea that this custom error boundary had, yeah, there's some test error things, was that this was going to inherit an error boundary and have a nice error message and a way to dig in and see exactly what happened inside that content. The problem is, if I put interactive server render mode on this, it's going to make the entire application interactive server render mode. That's not what I want. Thank you, CodeWiz Sean. Yes. What can fly, kick tail, and provide an amazing second half? The Eagles, of course. Yes, my Philadelphia Eagles looked awful in the first half of their game against the LA Rams this weekend. And they made some changes. They adapted at the half and came back and won that game. Down 20-some points, 21 points, came back to win it. Go Broncos. Oh, we're going to see you in a couple weeks here, Urban Blaster. We're going to see the Broncos in a couple weeks. What's interesting to me, check this out. So this weekend, the Philadelphia Eagles play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's the 5th time in 3 years that they're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Every one of those 5 times that they've played the Buccaneers, it's in Tampa. What's with the schedule formula that they're always playing in Tampa? Like that doesn't make sense to me. One of those times was a playoff game, so okay, that's a seeding thing, fine. But regular season games, they're supposed to alternate. They haven't played in Tampa since 2021. So, weird. Big game in University Park this weekend, that's right. Penn State, my Penn State Nittany Lions, my favorite college team, playing those always tough Oregon Ducks. This is a big, big game. Number 3 versus number 6 in the country. And it's the whiteout game. I know we got a number of folks here watching from Europe. Do you know about the Penn State whiteout game? It is a spectacle that you have not seen. It is unreal. There is nothing like it. I really wish Bing would not try to play YouTube videos on Bing.
Performance, durability.
Yeah, I know. Come on. Because I have now it's I've just got to go to YouTube directly. It is it is an amazing atmosphere. Nothing compares to it. Yeah, here's the entrance. Let's go full size, theater mode. $110,000 people, all dressed in white at night. Fireworks, pyro. It is the loudest atmosphere you've ever been. My Apple Watch goes nuts the entire game that it's too loud for ears, for human ears. It is phenomenal. You've never been to a Whiteout Napalm, you gotta go. You gotta go. It is. There is nothing like it. That's all I can say about that. So. Yeah. They're showing from this weird camera angle off in the stands. And that's not even the student section. There you go. There goes the pyro. Absolutely phenomenal. My seats, because I am a season ticket holder, are right there. I'm on the upper deck of the north end zone, right in the middle, row 78. There's only one thing they're good for. You see all the formations of the game like you're watching a video game, like you're watching Madden. Okay, it's terrific. So, but yeah, that's where I'm going to be this weekend. So, you're a Baker fan, of course. You're a fan of Hurts as well. Well, see, that's in Oklahoma. That's a Boomer Sooner thing going on right there. It is the with Balkan basketball supporters. So here's what they're trying to do. They're going to play an outdoor ice hockey game there in January. When tickets go on sale, I'm going to go buy them. But they're testing for inviting the NHL, inviting the National Hockey League here in North America to host what they call their Winter Classic there. And they desperately want to have January 1st, Penguins, Flyers in State College. 110,000 people. It would be the largest audience to watch an outdoor ice hockey game. It is phenomenal. It is a university team, yes. Wonder what it'll look like when the pros are playing. They don't get that kind of support. I am Penn State alumni, that's right. How you doing, Globe Rambler? Yes, indeed. So, it is a workout getting to your seat code with Sean. And that's why I'm so glad I've been losing weight. So, like, having to hike up all that distance is a workout, especially when you're carrying all that cider. So, when you get there, you are worn out and you just want to sit down. Good. So, but the inside word is the outdoor hockey game that Penn State is planning to host in January against Michigan State at Beaver Stadium, at that football stadium, is a test for when they want to invite the NHL. Because there's, in addition, right, what you don't see there, 110,000 people getting there. Where do they park? That's a problem, right? You've got 110,000 people. That's at least 50,000 cars. Where do they park? Where do they stay? A night game like that game's going to be over at 10, 11 p.m. And State College is in the middle of nowhere. Are you going to drive that 2.5 hours back to Pittsburgh? Are you going to drive those 3 hours back to Philadelphia? 3.5 hours back to Allentown, 2 hours back up to Erie. Like, so the fields aren't going to work in winter. They started to see that issue with the playoff game Christmas this past year. So how come the pros aren't getting the same support like the university does? The commercial the commercial involvement with the NFL, you don't see them sell tickets as well. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Is it Guinea Sim? Thank you so much for the support, bringing that Prime subscription to us. Helping us get over 103 points now towards my subscription goal of 200 in the month of September. Thank you. We're going to come up short, but we're trying. We're trying to get there. So you're going to end up parking a good ways away. In West Virginia, when we went to West Virginia football games, people literally parked on the shoulder of the highway outside town and would hike 5 miles in to the stadium. Nuts. Just nuts. So those temp seats this year look a little shady, though. They do, but they've been okay. They do look shady. It's going to be really good to see them improved. Is it the famous story of matches getting a 2-minute break for ads? That happens in college football also. Yes. What you'll see is the pros. The ticket prices for professional games are so high, and they also have what they call personal seat licenses. Like, you have to buy a license just for the right to buy tickets to that seat. It's ridiculous. And quite frankly, the towns, the cities that the professional stadiums are in, they don't want to build like this. There are enough alumni, there are enough students that universities with these massive stadiums like Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, Tennessee, LSU, Texas, in Austin, they can build these 100,000 seat stadiums and they can sell it out every week. So it's awesome. It is awesome. The amount of spirit, like, you can go to a pro game and you will never see that level of spirit that there is at a Penn State game or a Tennessee game or an Ohio State game. I can't believe I said Ohio State. Or a Michigan game. You will never see that level. So, oh, you're very welcome. And I hope I'm pronouncing your screen name right. Guinea Sim? Is that right? Let me know. I want to make sure I get your name right. So here, I want to work on this, getting this custom error. So what I really want to have is this nice go home or refresh page dialog that pops up when there's an error so that you can properly continue working with the application. How you doing there? Welcome in. Big, is it big? That looks like it's almost German. Big Kino? Hello? Welcome. Thinking this through. I don't think I want to inherit that. And I also, right here in my main layout, we've got custom error boundary. That looks weird. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. First start configuration. I don't want to put that on there. And if I go back over here, then, yeah, I don't have current exception. I might. And it also embedded all these styles that I'm going to move out. Sure, those players are getting some good money. They are getting paid now. Having to wait for a few minutes every time due to commercials helps them get a breather, get refreshed before the next game. before the next play. Like, that's the difference between American football and association football, soccer. Like, that's definitely a difference. Let's see if we can just use a standard error boundary. Right? Yank that. Put this down at the end like this. Thank you. Which means now I don't need these, don't need you. And I can do... inside of this is, what is it? It's like... Is it child content? I think it is. I think it is, right? And then, so up here, this is going to be error content. Right, like that. Thought I'm getting my error boundary. Here we go. This Blazor error boundary. Yeah, child content, error content. What don't you like about that? No, reload that. Let's see what we get here. So, Eagles versus... That's not a thing. Eagle versus Flyers. Now, Eagles play football. Flyers are hockey. Okay, that looks better. Looks better. So... So now, where'd it go? Current exception should work inside of error content. Looks like it is. But these buttons are, yeah, current exception isn't a thing. I think it needs to be context current exception. Context, inner exception. No. And I can't, oh, get base exception. Sure. Yeah, do the same thing here. Context. Get base exception. Now, getting that to display, though. Yeah, that should work. These down here, though, I think I need to wire up and make JavaScript actions. Like, I've already got JavaScript window location reload. And that is a go home. Like, I can just make that a navigator, John. And then I don't need any of this. Sure. But don't you... Oh, I'm not receiving child content. We got to get that. We got to get child content in here. It's going to be parameter. So this is a thing in Blazor. When you're building components, you want to receive and collect and work with the content that's inside that component. You can receive that as a render fragment of the given of the standard parameter name child content. And we don't like that. Sure, I don't mind marking that required. What? Yeah, So now it doesn't need to be interactive. I can make this. No, it's just an Ahref. Have a good one, Code with Sean. Child content not rated R. No, it's not. That should work. Let's give this a try. No. Yes, but I don't want that whole smash. Really? Go ahead, do that. Go ahead. There was something else I wanted to grab. Let's close that Copilot. Oh. Like, gotta keep my hands on the pulse of things here. Let's see, what do we have here? Build failed. Okay, what failed? Show me the error. Do I have to go all the way up here? I'd like to see the error, please. Conflicting version. Oh, that's... I don't see an error. I see lots of warnings, and I don't like them. Here we go. Unclose tag in main layout. Yeah. Can I .NET watch that? Can we go? Not using Oh My Posh and VS Code. I don't know why it's not running my profile there. That's a good point. You're in the treat warnings as errors club? I should. Because there's just too many in this. Okay, that looks like it started properly. Yeah, here we go. So, Tags app runs inside of... What's this called? Aspire. And I do want dark mode, thank you. There's the website right there. There's the test website. Now, there is a test error page that Copilot put together for me. Click the red button, throws an exception in the event handler that is not caught by error boundary. This one should throw a render error. No, none of that. There we go. Unexpected error occurred. Our team has been notified and is working on a fix. And go home goes home. I wonder why that one didn't catch. It works. I'm going to get rid of this page and move on. Commit that change. Like, right? Like, well, here, let's log in. I always log in with my GitHub. There we go. Lots of messages from Mastodon there. Blazer Day coming up on Thursday. Look at that. I'll put that one through. Once I said that Microsoft certifications were worth the time spent, how about Coursera specializations? I don't know about Coursera. In my space, I don't think that's as important. So, yeah. So, all right. Stuff sure looks like it's flowing through properly. And we can flip back to moderation. So there we go. We got a blue sky message. Batch migrate solution files to SLNX format. Yeah, there we go. Some Twitch messages coming through. I don't think this is hooked up right now to YouTube. I'm positive it's not hooked up to YouTube. So. Oh, look at. Oh, wait. I have this hard coded in there. And if I try and refresh, it's going to do the same thing. Fix that. I don't know why I put it on the admin index page. Like some sort of a moron. Yeah, go ahead and refresh. Building, come on. That's a lot of debug statements. Where is my global JSON on this? Here. What version do I have? 10.0100. So let's make this 10.0100. That should still work. Uh, 10.0100 or can I do that? Thought I could. So now the watch is going to run in .NET 10 mode, which has an improved watch and patch algorithm. So, certs and similar things are valid for getting in the front door. Yes. From then on, it's experience that counts. Totally agree. There are some consulting firms that you'll find really want certifications from folks because it proves that they know what they're doing. Right? That's... Why isn't blocked user? Why aren't these things going anywhere? There's the overlay. What, you're just taking your time getting there? No one's currently blocked. Cool. Not bad. Let me, yeah. Certificates look really, certifications look really good on proposals. Yes. I'm different. As an internet personality, I'm a little bit of an exception, a very rare exception to that, where folks don't care as much about my certifications and they're like, oh yeah, we know who you are. So it's easy to look up and see how much I know and don't know. As a Microsoft partner, you're required to have a certain number of certifications. Yep. Yep. This thing needs to be improved as well here. Let me check in the improvements to the error boundary there. Yep, that's fine. And I also want to get rid of... so let's add that. I'm going to do global JSON separately, because that's a big change. But I also want to get rid of these. This whole test. Get rid of that. Right? Completed test error component, error boundary. I think that's fine. Fantastic. Yeah. Go ahead and push that. Now using latest .NET 10 SDK. Go ahead, go use that one too. All right. So that's all in place. I think I'm ready to merge that one. Right here, this is 423. So, yep, do that. Hey there, Thunderbird 2014. Welcome. How you doing? I am... Really? You're not going to respond here? There we go. Like, something happened on GitHub that it's... GitHub? I don't know. Added a custom error component. Custom error component. No, I didn't do all those things. I fixed 490. No. .423. Updated to use .NET 10 SDK. Create that, get it merged, away we go. Hey, Burger B, hello. What the heck? Wow. My number of viewers has really dropped off. You asked about the Coursera specialization because it is made by Microsoft? What? It is. What's made by Microsoft? There's nothing wrong with these. Question of respect, one versus the other. Full stack developer capstone project and stuff like that. I don't see a problem with this content without diving in and really reading and seeing. But I'm not sure how much employers are how much weight they're going to give to that content versus here's what I've accomplished and done, or a Microsoft certification. I thought I saw a red X, but I see a check. Yeah, right there. What failed? I bet it's that .NET 10. You're on red, but what's red? One warning, 0 errors. What's the goal with the .NET tools and frameworks is to make it easier for you to do what makes you happy. Test required .NET 9, but only .NET 8 and .NET 10 RC are installed on the runner. Show me. I knew it was going to be... I knew that global JSON was going to mess things up. And it's not showing me the full... Yeah. Downloading 8.0.20. Installed version is 10.0.100. Yeah. So, where's the error? That's an error message. 13 matches. 0 errors. Mm-hmm. You must install or update .NET to run this application. Oh. Interesting. Oh, did we drop... Holy crow. I completely dropped. Didn't change target framework. Sometimes you fall into the mindset that if you can't get an accredited certificate, it's not worth it. I wouldn't... I don't think that's dumb. I think there's a place for both accredited certificates and augmented additional education. I think there's a place for both of them. I'm just making sure that we're still playing well over here. Let me take a look at how that build is set up. Here. Set up the .NET SDK based on my global JSON. Set up .NET SDK. That's for creating the Docker image. We didn't get to that point. It's right there. And it's telling me it doesn't know how to do that. Really? Let's see what we can do here. Tags app, unit test. Mm-hmm. That ran properly. It's saying that 9 isn't on There's the app built with .NET 9. But it's telling me that it's not there. That's fine. I don't care. I will go back to the previous version, which was, I think, 90200. Fine by me. Really? You're taking that long? Thank you. Push. Come on back. Show me that thing running again. Robson Previato, hello.
Robson Previato just resubscribed for 17 months. Good morning, Fritz.
Hello. Is that a Wayland Yutani hat? I tell you what, it is. Let me let Charlie tell you all about it.
The analysis is complete. Wayland Yutani Corp hat has been identified with high confidence.
Yup.
Congratulations, Fritz.
Oh.
Your code is performing exactly as my worst-case scenario models predicted. There will be cake, eventually.
Thanks. Jeez. And that took a really long time to read and put up there, but hey. Yeah, it should have picked up the SDK from Global JSON and run with that. Yeah. I thought you could even list .NET version multiple items and it would go install them. Look at this. These didn't run? Huh? What? That's bogus. I don't get it. But it ran properly now. Merge it. There's got to be something going on GitHub. I'm going to update this and yank that because it's no longer in there. Squash and merge. Thank you. Yep, delete the branch. Appreciate it. Back up to here, over to here. This I'm going to mark as fixed. All of these will close when they get merged into main. I think the map is next. We've got to make posts larger. Yeah. Auto ignore. I have an hour. Would be funny to have Charlie comment on GitHub action results when they fail. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Oh, I am loving Alien Earth. Final episode is coming out tonight from the first season. So, really looking forward to that. Let me come back over here. Let's do a little cleanup. Give me that one. Yep. And git branch. Cool. The world building is amazing. All the backstory information that they're sharing. But with Alien Earth, this is in the past. This is at about the same time as the first Alien movie. So it's in the past, even though the last few Alien movies that we've been seeing in the theater are prequels, right? Prometheus and Alien Covenant were prequels. Not a fan of Alien Covenant. Oof. But the timing of Alien Earth is about the same time as the first Alien. So we already know what happens over the next 60 years. Right? Because it's 60 years between the end of Alien 1 and the beginning of Aliens. Because in Aliens, Ripley comes out of sleep and she's told it's been 60 years and your daughter has aged and passed. And you completely missed her life, and that totally wrecks her. And she's living in an apartment, and when she gets recruited to go back to LV-426, the planet where they first encountered the alien, inside the engineer's ship, that's where, right, they go back there, and turns out Weyland-Yutani, the company she was working for, hauling minerals back to Earth, they're terraforming LV-426, and Paul Reiser's character hears about the alien from Ripley during her testimony about why the Nostromo was destroyed, and he sends some go-getter that's in the terraforming to go check out the ship. He gets the facehugger, and the rest is history. So we know over those 60 years they're not successful at taming and keeping the alien. So Alien Earth is not going to end well. But that's kind of the thing with alien movies. They don't end well. However, we've also seen from Prometheus and Alien Covenant, they're not opposed to doing a little retconning. Because the way that those two movies set up the first Alien, they kind of put the kibosh on the Versus movies against Predator. Yeah, Alien versus Predator was kind of retconned out. Like, this isn't our universe. Because it's the first time that the alien becomes a thing in Prometheus. And it gets even worse in Covenant, right? The blood, the gore in those two movies, just... You're getting a little over the top here. Predator versus Cyborg. Yeah. Isn't that what's going on in the most recent Predator movies? This is going to take a while, and I want to start on that, but I think I can get... Where'd it go? I think I can get this in a little bit faster. Like, I think I can get this in now. You know? So, in the message detail page, let's allow you to load historical messages for the user that you're looking at. This, I think we can build really quickly. Because we already know how to do a lot of this stuff. And this has been out here for almost 2 years. Are we that far back on the YouTube feed? Okay. Let's create a new branch. I like to do it at the command line instead of in Visual Studio Code. Git checkout. Feature more messages. I don't know, that sounds good, right? So what I'm going to do is it's in the what was the page? Message details. Message details. Here. Wow. I don't know what you're doing, but I don't like it. Wow. No, go away. Here. I'll even let you reload the window. So which universe has the elephant? Elephant? I don't remember an elephant. Holy smokes. Is there something going on Twitch? There was an elephant with a gun? Ooh, I didn't see that. I haven't watched the latest Predator movies. I'm going to guess that it was in the Predator movies. Holy smokes. Yeah, there's a lot of folks broadcasting right now. Yeah. Okay. That kind of explains a little bit, and I'm okay with that. So, it's in the comics? Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that at all. So, here on the message detail screen, I mean, let's just ask Copilot to do this and see if we can get this just done, right? Ads have kicked in on Twitch. No, we're doing a new bit here. What? There we go. And it's on message details. Yeah. So I'm going to use, I really like Claude, but I want to try GPT-5. When a moderator is, dictate this. When a moderator is reviewing a message on this screen, comma, I'd like them to be able to view the most recent messages from the user that created the message that is being reviewed. Period. Load those messages based on the user ID and platform that they are posting from. Latform? You forgot the P in platform? How did... I pop my P's at times and you missed that? Yeah. Fire away. Show me what you can do here, Copilot. In fact, I'm going to close the others of this. There's a video that does the entire Alien franchise in one video. Is that one of those mega edits on YouTube where folks have just stitched together all these videos and they're kind of dodging the copyright police? Sure, you're going to go learn how to fetch messages. That's fine. Do I not have a Copilot instructions file for this? Yeah, I do. I don't have any architecture, I guess, built into this. Project structure. Like, what are you searching for? My moderation repository. Moderate, moderate with reason, get approved content, get all content, get rejected content, get content with moderation, block a user, unblock user. Give me adding a new method to the interface. There we go. And then create a new method in the Postgres version of the repository. Yes. Normalize the name of the author. Candidate rows. Content has no tracking. Include the moderation actions where the provider is this. You're not filtering on username there. Why are you doing that? Instead of just filtering it on the query. What were you doing over here? Yeah, that's... Yeah, that's fine. What are you doing? And then the updates to the UI. I don't like what it did. Get recent content by author. Filter it, man. What changes did you make in here? No, you just... That's fine, I don't care. Sure, go ahead, build. Prove it to yourself that it builds. Yeah, go. Now you're gonna run the unit test? Fine. Prove me wrong. So here's where I like to push back, right? Great, you took all these actions. Go ahead, finish reporting there, you twit. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Why did you reach in and change that? Way down here is where it changed. Why are you doing this filter after fetching data from the database instead of including the user ID and provider filter in the query that you're sending to Postgres? Fix it. Like, don't be a moron. Because the author information is serialized. Stand by. No, it's... Oh. Yeah. Ah, crumbs. Painted myself into a corner by making this a nice JSON blob of data for the user that we're bringing out. Okay. Um... Promote author username to a first-class column. That's not a bad idea. Nobody's using this actively right now. I could definitely promote that. I think I can definitely do that. And then add an index. Use the Postgres JSON mapping. Where did it go? I like option C. What do you think, chat? I like that. What is involved in implementing option C? These are all concerns of the database storage. None of this has that I'm working on right here has anything to do with the user interface, right? It's coming in and saying, I need users from this platform. So the abstraction that we have here is going to let us focus on just Postgres implementation because we have the interface. And that's one of the architectural benefits that we get by separating our repository storage and technique and our model from our application model. Yeah, I want to be able to do that. Leave author as text and cast each time in the generated column. Alter the author column to JSON B once, reducing repetitive casting. No, I don't care about the migration impact. And then create an index. No, it's not going to be author only. It would be provider and author. Add the read-only property to the PG content. Configure it in the DB context. Nice. Generate and inspect. Yes. Generated stored columns compute automatically. No manual backfill needed. Cool. Also compute display name. Nah, don't need that. Yeah. Implement the JSON-B approach, and I have no concerns about the migration. You can migrate our local test data. Add EF migration steps. Appropriately. We'll be deploying to a fresh install for production. Let's see what GPT does. Go implement this fix, and then we'll go look at the user interface updates. This should optimize the interaction with the database. We're adding minimal extra requirements to the database. It's not going to do that much work because the size of the creator object here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strings that it puts into a JSON block for the creator object that's stored in the database for each message. That's okay. Let's wait and see what happens here. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. Building, and no. Oh, this is going to be a mess. Generating migrations. Yeah, this is not going to be right there. I have a script that does this. No, it's not there. It's down in here. Where is it? Add migration. Yeah. I feel like that's something that I should put in the Copilot instructions. because it's so tricky with the application structure the way that it is to get that content rolled out. So come on. Come on, come on. Did it actually do it? Add migration? Yeah. Build started, build succeeded? Yeah. Building it. Looks good. You're adding another one? Like, you're adding another one. You just did that. Yeah. .NET EF database update. You don't need to do that. You dork. The migrations are applied automatically when Aspire starts. Let's see what we get here. Come on. Come on, come on. Wow, what happened on Blue Sky? Suddenly I got a bunch of messages. Oh, okay. Wow. And followers too. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, I know. Okay. Let me read this recap. Added computed column, author username. Promoted author, column to JSON B. Added composite index, author username timestamp. For efficient recent message lookups. Okay. Author username computed. Adds the computed column. There it is. Cool. Author username enhancements. Alters author to a real JSON B. Yep. Repository refactor. Get content by author now. Now. And variants? What the heck is variants? Oh, okay. Trying to find. Okay, that's fine. That's gonna be a little dicey running. All right, so let's keep all that and try and run this and see what happens here. Right. Yeah. Yeah, tags app host, .NET watch, and let's see if it picks up. Yeah, that's right, you dork. It is why we won't be out of jobs anytime soon. Just the weird, wild stuff that Copilot thinks, not just Copilot, but that the AI thinks works. You know? Here we go. Come on. Using launch settings. That's right. Database migrations. There it is running. Column author cannot be cast automatically to JSON B. You said we could do that. Hey, Copilot, you said we could do that. I'm getting an error when trying to migrate. Now let's see what you can do about that, Copilot. Go fix it and get back to me. And I'm using GPT-5, so it'll be a little bit more terse, and hopefully we get through that quickly. What do we got? What do we got? Yeah, there we go. Actually specifying the SQL for it to execute, right? This is one of those overload capabilities that we can do inside of Entity Framework, right? You can take a step outside the code, the generated code that it gives you, and say, no, I know the statement I want to run. This is where your database administrator folks, right? Those folks who specialize in maintaining your database can help you with some of that script to put that stuff into the mix, right? Because they know it really well. They know your database really well. And while the generated code is probably going to get you right 90 to 95% of the time, trust your database administrator. They're good people. They want to help you. Let's see how we're doing here. Nope, it's the same error. Is it the same error? Space Shot!
Space Shot just resubscribed for 74 months.
Thank you so much. 74 months at tier 2. Thank you so much. Yeah, more than 6 years with us, Chris. Much appreciate. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see, what do we got here? The model for Tags App Contest has pending changes. Yeah. Yeah. You're going to make me roll back that, John. Aren't you? Has pending changes. What's the pending change? Oh, I scrolled right past it. Lock table. Get the migrations. No migrations applied. Database is already up to date. Let me yoink that. Yoink? Yoink. That last record from the migrations table. Right? Kids, I am an expert. Don't do this at home. Because you will make your team and your database administrator really mad. yoinking and looking at the data. Right, so here's all the migrations that were applied. But it's not applying the new ones. Why aren't you applying the new ones? Pending model changes warning. Yeah, what could go wrong, right? Right? Let's get right to this. Database migrations. This one. Right? There it is. Oh. Because I didn't run it with the debugger from VS Code. Come here. It's right here also. No, put it into this Copilot. Now I'm getting an error when I migrate. I've seen this before. I forget how I fixed it. I could go and Google it, but show me what we got here. You think they should do it at home to their own personal database, but don't do it at work. Acme Games, you're right. Don't do this at work. Don't do this in your production database. Break it at home. What are you doing here? All right. Okay. Rerun that. Hey, Fuel Snable. Break it and let everyone enjoy the paint. That's what I'm doing. Let me break it so we can learn from it. Right? Let me make it a problem. Okay. And migrations. Cannot alter type of a column used by a generated column. My confidence in you is going down, Copilot. Where was it? It's in this message.
Other ACE aim to be helpful. I aim to be unforgettable.
Oh, yes, you are.
Success metrics vary accordingly.
We'll try Claude next. Yeah, production databases should be backed up, but you also shouldn't have your fingers in there as a developer. While a generated column still dependent on it. Forbids changing a base column's type when a stored generated column references. Fix applied. Drops the column if it exists. Author it, re-adds it. Okay. Yeah, I know. No C# changes to apply. But I'm going to restart that, John. Here. We vibe coding out here? A little bit, Furball Framework. This was supposed to be something that was going to be easy to do. Isn't that the death knell for every developer? It's easy. I'll be done it in 2 hours. Like, I was trying to get it to query and return information from the database, and oh gosh, that data is stored in a JSON field. All right. Go add a computed column. Like, here, Copilot, just go do that real quick. No. That real quick just didn't happen. Migrations, here we go. Update the thing. So far, so good. Yeah! So, I should be able to go here, go back to the website, right? And even right into message moderation. There we go. And I should be able to do, like here, Alvin has a couple messages. I should be able to click into this. Recent messages from Alvin Ashcraft on Hachyderm. And there they are. Fantastic. I like it. So this list of messages here, chat, what do you think if we put this in a scrollable div so that the messages underneath this header scroll? What do you think of that? And Furball Framework, I think that's another thing that let it just go do the thing. Right? Like, that worked out really well. Where's that page? This one. Close all the others. And I find that vibe coding with very small UI changes that it will refresh works out really nicely. So there's the block user capabilities. If there are any other messages here. Can you make this list of... Why am I doing this again? Nope. Stop. Can you make this list of recent messages a scrollable table with a fixed header above it? Just go wrap the div and do the thing. So... it's just a list. There is no, it isn't going to update. You wonder if a component that offers virtualization will be better? Well, I limit it to the last 5 or 10 messages. So I'm okay with that. Right? Why is it filtering again? Gets the last 10, and then order by descending. You don't need to refilter that. dude. So it's hot reloading down here. I don't know if you noticed that. Why are you giving me a full message modal? Replace the unordered list with a compact table, sticky header, scope CSS, hover highlighting. Yeah, I see that. Removed old list group markup. Okay. Oh, optional refinement. Show moderation reason tooltip on status badge. Limit height dynamically. Yes, add the moderation reason tooltip to the status badge if rejected. Like, the date is already there, just include it and format it. Like, there's the moderation action right there. And the moderation reason is coming in from Azure Content Safety. So there is an optional setup here where Azure Content Safety will read and potentially automatically reject messages. And that's okay, because the only messages that get on screen are approved by human. To have the AI reject messages, not too bad. That's a good safety prevention for us. So there we go. Yes. Move styles to an isolated CSS file. I don't want a popover or modal, and I don't want filtering. Show me everything. So. And I think that's all I need for this. Right? Nothing's rejected, so nothing's appearing with those reasons. Right, so if I were... I don't want to block him. But I also can't reject here. Right, so if I reject this one, right? There it is, rejected by me. So now if we go find another Alvin message, it's not showing rejected over here. That link's not going to work. Oh, no, it did. Terrific. It did jump me right to that person. Okay. Right, so this should include this one when I look at the recent messages. And then there's my CSS. Cool. I'm okay with that. You refuse to scroll if content isn't important enough to be right in front of my face. It can't be that important. Pyrocat, I like the way you're thinking. I think this is okay for now to solve and provide this extra bit of capability here for this. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, do the thing. Yes. Go ahead, publish that, merge it, and mark it as done. This one, 317. I should have just gone over here. Yeah, origin. Right? Thank you. That's the button I was looking for. I'm not going to search and do these hookup things. You do it for me, GitHub. Because you know the stuff. Come on. Let's see here. Added a list of recent messages on message details screen. Message recent messages from author. And that fixes, yeah, that one. Push that in. One second here while I'm waiting for this to run. Make sure that that builds. Come on. Okay, all green. So let's merge this. That feels good to get that. Something that I've wanted to have for 2 years in here. Get that one into the mix and done. Dear Lord. Right? Like, there's something to be said that feels good about getting a feature implemented that you've just kind of had parked for a while. And it took me, what? Less than an hour? Like, I could have implemented this with the default construction the way that it was defined. However, with the way that we modified the database, this is going to work much better than the default way that Copilot was just kind of working around to make it happen. You should see that it was referenced. Yeah. So it is in that pull request. So when this gets, right, when it gets merged all the way up, it should close it. Should. Oh, let me see. So, yeah, overdo my foot. So we have custom Blazor error user interface. We've got the message details. So we have just the size of the messages, the size of the modal, and the map. That feels really good. That we have those couple things done. I wanted to get to the map today. It would be an entirely new page that we're adding. It needs a little bit of moderation to go with it. Or the web the web tests are disabled right now. Yes. They're so far out of date, and they were referencing the old Razor Pages model. So they need to be rewritten, updated, use Playwright, and navigate around and interact with things. We'll have to work on that. But I think auto ignore phrases and links. We can. This feels like something that could be added quickly. I don't say that, Fritz. Don't do it. No, it's not up to date with it. I told you. No. Get rid of the other branch. Feature more messages. I feel like I can unleash Copilot on this and get this one done pretty quick. Because we already have a little bit of a template for this. Publish this to Origin. And I'm going to let Claude do this one. Where the heck is content safety? There's the configuration. There's the moderation. And oh shoot, I'm not going to be able to do this quickly. Worcester. Now, which Worcester is that? The OG. The OG in the UK? I don't think it placed it there. I don't think it placed it. Where'd it go? It says it placed it. But, that's not it. No, it's Glasgow. Dublin. If it's the American one, it would be over here. I don't think I picked that one up. I've been wanting to turn this into a pipeline, and that's the correct way to go about this. So that there's a pipeline of I notify new messages. Yeah. And no, don't talk about Voldemort here. Don't talk about Voldemort. If I add another one into the mix here, I could just put it in the Signal R. The Signal R one. So this is an I notify messages, and the deal is when it receives a direction to notify, hey, there's new content, it goes and publishes. There's new approved content, well, go and publish that. There's new rejected content. There's a change to the blocked count. The idea is this should propagate down, and we should have really a pipeline of these that talk to each other. And that pipeline is configured, and we're able to insert layers of moderation in here. Right now, there are 2 layers of moderation. There is Azure Safety Moderation, and then which this calls down into another I notify new messages, which is this one. But that could be... This is going to be a little bit trickier than I thought. Hey there, Toon Crabra? Welcome. Because this is included. When it sets up messaging, the notify messages that it's using is Azure Safety Moderation, and it wraps the one that was passed in that is the Signal R. So I could wrap that wrap. That's not a bad idea. Write a new class that implements I notify new messages and allows a custom definition of words or phrases that should be ignored or automatically rejected if they appear inside of a message. Period. Let's see. That implements I notify new messages. Yes, there we go. Allows a definition, a custom list that should be automatically rejected if they appear inside of a message. Yes. Create this new class with the same structure as is presented in this Azure Safety Moderation class, comma, delegating to the Azure Safety Moderation class. I don't know. Notifier in the same way that Azure Safety Moderation delegates in the constructor. Let's see what we get. It's committed. We're on a feature branch. Let's get dangerous. Let's see what it comes up with. And then we'll eventually create a user interface so that moderators can key in words to search for. And the example that we were thinking of when we defined this requirement was if for some reason folks start inserting links to content that we want to reject. Links to buy more viewers, links to the Temu or something that people are trying to get picked up and referenced. A message handling services. Exactly. I want Acme. I want a bit of a pipeline so that we can insert items into the pipeline, and as each step finishes, pass it back. Make a decision, pass it back to the pipeline, and let the pipeline pass it into the next class of the pipeline. Word filter moderation class. Yeah. So, for now, this is a kludge that'll work. I want a real pipeline, though. So that as we add layers, as we add additional protection, different things that we want to notify, we can do that with minimal rewriting, because this is going to be a little bit of rewriting to insert this. You want to check if the code compiles? Sure. Sure. You created a class, word filter moderation. Let me see what that looks like. And it's in the Postgres. I don't want it necessarily down there. Like, I don't think we need blocked users, but blocked words, yeah. Notify approved content just goes through. Notify for rejected content. Notify if we get new content. Get the blocked user cache. See, this I don't think we need. Check if the content contains any blocked words or phrases. Check if there's no text to analyze. That's always going to be a thing. Check for blocked words. Reason contains blocked words or phrases. Yeah, good. And moderate with reason, word filter. There we go. There's some work to do in here, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. What did you change? Alright, create a simple test. But I'm pretty happy with what it generated. I'll clean it up a little bit, but we're in fine shape here. Finish that thing, and then, you know what? I'm going to commit this when it's done, and you'll be able to review it in my repository. Let me roll back here. Yeah, go ahead, finish doing your thing there. And I'm going to call it a day. I've got some meetings to get to. We're planning. We're working on more stuff for .NET Conf. There's an Aspire release coming up that we're getting ready for. We'll see more about that soon. So, let me see who else is streaming on the big Twitch TV network that I can get you connected to. Because it sure looks like there's a lot of folks out there that we can choose from and join. Here we go. Wow. Depending on which YouTube app you're using to watch, or if you're watching on the website. If you're watching on Twitch, get ready to say hi to our friend Adam Learns Live, and I will see YouTube app you're using to watch, or if you're watching on the website. If you're watching on Twitch, get ready to say hi to our friend Adam Learns Live, and I will see you on Thursday. All right?